We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years, approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this by chance, number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is that not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. Good afternoon, well, good evening on the West Coast. Good morning in the mountain. Good morning in the central. Good morning on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparations Perspective, bringing you those free and hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our vote, socializing our suffering. And this morning, family, to all of my night owls and my morning owls, I had a nice long nap because I'm just in from the Texas relays. We had to leave Austin around 6 this morning, and I was so tired I could have taken off running. So I had to lay it down. So I've had a nap, and I saw, because I don't watch the Oh So White Oscars. I don't watch that. I don't engage in whiteness on no level. Because I understand how we got here as a free people. But I was on ScrewTube watching some of my favorite, new Black media personalities when I got a flash about Will Smith, going up on the Oscar stage to slap Chris Rock for the very distasteful joke that he made toward Jada Pinkett Smith. And when I saw that and got to see how we got here in terms of the footage that was shown, good morning, Satch, Ohio. Listen, I'm so sorry to wake y'all up this way. But for those of you that are night owls or morning owls, welcome one and all to the live from Facebook, Twitter, and ScrewTube. I was trying to go live early with Shirley Husar on her StreamYard, but there was so much feedback I had to drop that. But anywho, I had to bring this to you because I saw the look on Jada's face, so I totally understand how Will Smith got to the place where he wanted to protect his wife as the alpha male he is. You know, he gets called a simp often, you know, because of her pining over her past relations with Tupac. And of course, they make her look like the whole in the whole equation of their open relationship, because on the Red Table Talk, they addressed the very messy August Alsina, who, quite frankly, I felt was bitter that she didn't divorce her husband to go get with him, when it's clear to me and the world that they've got an open relationship. You can like it or love it or hate it or whatever you want to do with that, but that's not my monkey, not my circus. But the very wounded August Alsina started running his mouth to the place where Jada and Will had to come onto a Red Table Talk to address it. But if you recall, in the end, he said something about, I'm going to get you back. And she, in turn, said, you've already gotten me back enough. That means that they both have done their share of sleeping outside of their union, because that's their arrangement and their agreement. But that arrangement and agreement has nothing to do with the Black woman needing protection and covering from their husbands and their Black men. Okay, so to me, you're comparing apples to asparagus to somehow deduce that she's a hoe that doesn't need protection. That's where you're way off, and where you're just totally cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I don't have no time for you. I can't deal with you because you're acting stupid to even make such a suggestion that she, who is suffering from an autoimmune disease and alopecia, is the way this is showing up in her body. For you to think it's okay for Chris Rock to sit up here and make a joke about that, and yet he doesn't come for and doesn't joke about the wives of the white and migrant executive producers who own the industry. You see, we as Black women are constantly the low-hanging fruit. We're constantly the ones being dragged, ever since we were dragged here in chains after being sold into slavery by Africa. Not everything was a kidnap, people. Don't believe that hype, because Africa owes us reparations too, as does Europe. Anywho, I digress. You know, I don't see anything unless I see it through a reparationist perspective. So yes, all of it ties back to why we are owed in the quadrillions. So I'm not going to give away the whole broadcast. I just finished on Shirley Husar's platform, and the only way for me to bring it, what's up, Satra Delry 360? I see you, fam. The only way for me to bring it to my viewers was to jump off her live and come over here and rebroadcast the live I was just on. Right now, you're catching me on the trail end of all of my enthusiasm that I left on the broadcast on Shirley Husar. So right now, I'm going to share that with you guys. And, you know, if I have any energy at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to come back and close it out. But if not, I'll just give you guys the outro. But you will have heard your very passionate sister go hard in the paint, revering what Will Smith did, because, like my mama used to tell me, if you show your ass in public, I'm going to wear your ass out in public. So I don't see anything different. For me, the formula applies. If you show your ass on the Oscar stage in the name of a motherfucking joke, then I'm going to give you that smoke where you clowning my wife. Okay? This is how my mama did it. If I showed my ass in the mall, she turned up in the mall. So I'm sick of the respectability politics all throughout the country and abroad. I want respectability for freed women, freed men, and freed children. And for me, that was exhibited by Will Smith mounting that stage. Hee ha ha. It's not funny, mofo, and not Chris Rock square in his jaw. I felt an eensy bit of justice because the way we are dragged in ScrewTube on Facebook and Twitter, Gram, TikTok, the world needed to see an alpha black male rise to the occasion to protect his black queen, his freed queen, because we have yet to be free, okay? His freed queen. We are freed people because we fought and won our emancipation, but we have yet to be free. We are still undergoing a Holocaust, and black men speaking and denigrating black women in public spaces, whether it's ScrewTube or at the Oscars, has got to stop. We have got to be the ones to end the gender war. We can't keep oppressing and putting our foot on the necks of our own people, where there's already an overarching ethno-genocidal plan by the white glacier donkey supremacist oppressors. And I am sick and tired of us doing this one unto another when we know better. But see, that's the grift. The gender war is the grift, just like reparations is the grift. So without further ado, let me share my screen and you can hear me weigh in on it. I was kind of all over the place, but you'll get the point. Stand by, family. Welcome to the live. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. If you feel so compelled, bless the broadcast at $TRPTV. And I have a PayPal. It's all in the description box, okay? All right, so let's get it going. Thank you to those of you who have already blessed my voice in this space as a part of the new Black media. I greatly appreciate you, and I'm believing God to return your generosity to the broadcast a millionfold. Thank you. Stand by. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. I'm tired, y'all. Woo, but we did our thing in Texas. Hold on, family. Oh, Sugarfoot. Oh, it's buffering, y'all. Just a second, family. It's doing some crazy things because naturally I'm being shadow banned. Hold on, family. They don't want this message getting out because I go hard. I'm trying my Ethernet cable. Give me a second.
A crown of the head of a Black woman. A crown of the head of the Black woman. When will we be protected? Who's going to protect us? Or we are just going to self-implode? You are
real protection or covering from Black sold into slavery by Africa. I closed out YouTube. Hold on, let me make sure. I closed out YouTube and I just came into your link. I think you need to send me the link through email.
I did. Go to your email.
Okay. I'm closing this down.
Okay, come on back. We got to hear your view on this one.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, wow. That's so much better.
Okay. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, hi everyone.
Hey everybody. Thank you so much for being patient with us through these trials and error. This is, it's when will we be protected? I think that's my conversation with you. Do we have any protection in this game right now? Is anyone gonna protect us?
It doesn't feel like it. It's really, really tragic that it's always been okay to come at freed women in particular. And we're in a climate where it's just commonplace. We're getting it from all directions, even Black immigrants. So this is really taxing. And I am just so grateful that Will Smith stood up for us on a national platform where the world is watching in this way, because we have always, from the time we were sold into slavery by Africans, we have always been, and I mean, this is just going on still all over the world, even as a Black woman, but a freed woman in particular, from the time that, we've been considered and used as chattel. We were bred to 4 million by the time we fought and won our emancipation. We have always been on the bottom of the white man and now the Black man, whether he's a freedman or whether he's a Black immigrant man, on the bottom of the totem pole, on the bottom, as just treated lower than well shit as far as I'm concerned. Now, when I say this, I don't mean all men. There are some exceptions. So I don't mean all men, but by and large, I just see Black women being muled out and not cared for in the way we should be honored and deserve to be revered. No one takes into consideration what their nefarious plans to destroy and ethno-genocide us as a people, the toll it takes on Black women's health, the toll it takes on Black women's bodies, the toll it takes on Black women's mental, to constantly always try to behave as if we have it all together. It's just exhausting and mentally draining. And it really is like we're constantly in a state of war to defend ourselves as Black women with no real protection or covering from Black men. I see Black men right now going live that are just as guilty for dragging us as Black women as what Chris Rock attempted to do tonight. He's sitting up here talking about how it was just a joke. It was about G.I. Jane. Chris Rock, you've got way too many bazillions of dollars off of Black women included in how you came to be the super celebrity that you are. He's sitting up here pretending like it was about a fucking white Demi Moore G.I. Jane, when we all know you were taking a dig at Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. The fact that she has an autoimmune deficiency, the fact that she's challenged with alopecia, this isn't lost on his ass. This is not like she showed up and decided to have her hair cut this way.
Right.
This has nothing to do with that. So this is the problem I have with what he did, because he should know better. Isn't this the same Mickey Ficky that produced a whole movie about
hair.
black women
I don't
and their
get that.
natural hair?
You didn't learn nothing from that.
Yeah, yeah. That's the problem I'm having with it, is that, you know better, but because we are constantly being held as the lowest hanging fruit for everybody to take a shit on, even our own men, this becomes something that you could joke about, and you thought you was about to get that off. But what you fail to understand is that this brother Will Smith just got an Oscar for playing the role of a black man protecting his black wife, protecting his black children.
Come on
Now,
now.
I got stuff about King Richard, that I later learned that, makes me dial back on celebrating him as a hot damn king. The fact that he made 5 other babies with a whole nother woman whom he neglected, to take up with a brand new woman and to make these 2 superstars in the way that he did. I've got issue with the fact that you didn't spread that financial love and take care of that woman who bore you 5 children. I got issues with the fact that they got an open marriage, and the only one being exposed for having extramarital affair is Jada Pinkett Smith. I feel like Will Smith did a real bitch move to let her hang out there on that August Alsina piece, and not come to her defense and act like a fucking victim, when, like she said in the Red Table Talk, when he said, "I'm gonna get you back," she said, "You've gotten me back enough." We don't know what she's had to endure. And so now you got black folks up in my Facebook feed wanting to sit up here and act like this woman who's in an open marriage with a man where they have an agreement that they can sex whoever the hell they damn well please. You got them behaving as if she don't need the protection of a freed man. She no longer needs protection because she chose to take advantage of their open marriage and sleep with August Alsina, which is her hot damn business. If it's good with her husband, why do we have an issue? And why is that somehow now synonymous with her not needing a covering as a freed woman?
That's true.
Why? Let me, girl, I got to see if I can tap in and do this live. Let me try again, because my audience is waiting on me, because I done set up the stream. I either need to cancel it. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, my son wants to say something. We want to say, Ken?
He was inspired by King Richard the Park.
I kind of like what she was saying, that the fact that King Richard was a protector of family, and here this man was winning an Oscar for protection of family, right?
Yeah, he protected his family. Even I don't know I can't think of his name, but Serena's father protected Serena against social norm and against social understandings. He went beyond and above for his family, and Will, acting as that role, he had to truly understand what that meant. And
well, you're absolutely right. That was my point, that people don't understand that as artists. Now, I'm speaking as an artist. I did performance art, theater, television, and film prior to having my Oscar genesis, okay?
Okay.
I had my Oscar. And so what folks don't get, that artistically, when you take a role on, you allow your temple to be used for that spirit to indwell your temple.
Right.
You become one with that. So there is no way that Will Smith is, like he said in his acceptance speech, he's called to do this part because he's called to love and protect Black people in particular. He, of course, is too whitewashed to take it as far, but I understood and read between the lines. When he assumed the role of King Richard and all that he had to go through to protect Venus and Serena, When he assumed that role, he became one with the spirit of King Richard. When you're doing it right, when you are performing a role right, you get yourself out the way to take on the persona of the individual that you are playing. You allow that that character to dwell in your temple and you become one with the character. So what you saw in Will Smith was the King Richard that was emboldened and enlivened in him through his practice of the arts. That part in him, which is in every character that you see being played, is inherent in each and every one of us. But when you are paid to perform, you have to turn that on, and there becomes a fine line between who you are and now who that character is, because you've allowed the spirit of that character to take over. So, what happened that folks didn't really see and why it was no longer funny, Will Smith looked at his wife and he had compassion. He had compassion for the look on Jada's face when she was really turned off by being made fun of. And my thing is this, and this is why I commend Will, and this is why Chris Rock just lost some respect for me big time. Because I never, first of all, I never see white and migrant men punch down on their women. Usually, when you see them, they're going to talk about their own wives and their own situations. And that's what I'm kind of accustomed to with Chris Rock, who don't have a wife now. But anyway, let me go back and finish my thought.
Go ahead.
Let me finish this thought before
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
let me finish, please. Um, yeah, so what you found was that you never see white or migrant men come for their women, outside of their own marriages. I've not seen it. So if somebody will stand to correct me, that's fine. I don't mind the correction. Do so respectfully. Okay. But the thing is that I don't see them coming for their women in the way I see the likes of Tyreek Nasheed. I see the likes of Kevin Samuels. I could go on and on and on about a bunch of freed men in this social media space that constantly have something to say about Black women. They constantly have something to drag about a Black woman. Like I said, if it's not her hair or her weave or her weight or her autoimmune deficiencies, I never see white or migrant men come for their women in the same way. And my second point to that is Tommy Sotomayor, all these freaking lames in the screw tube, constantly punching down on Black women, trying to uplift and revere white women, Asian women, Latino women, all these other women they want to lift up over the original woman, the Black woman. And you never see these comedians punching down on their own women in the way our freed men and in the way these Black migrant men and in the way white men, well, white men don't even do this shit. White men don't punch down on Black women in their comedy because they know, like I just said in my race book, they know that they cannot write a check with their mouth that their ass can't cash when the camera stopped rolling. So no, Will Smith, somebody said he would have never done that if that was a white man. He may not have, because we are probably like less than 13%. So he don't have enough support in the Black community, as you already see them dragging him for having done this. And they want to play this respectability Negro bullshit because we in the Oscars on national TV. Now folks want to feel ashamed, but they don't feel as shamed when it comes to all the atrocities against free people in this country since the time Africa sold us into slavery. But I digress. The other part to why this is unconscionable, and then I'll take a breath, is that Chris Rock is doing this on a white and migrant funded network and Oscar award ceremony. You want to do this for the world to see. You want to punch down
on Jada Pinkett Smith, who is suffering with an autoimmune immune deficiency, because you know we're the lowest hanging fruit. But why aren't you punching down on the white and migrant women who are the wives of the people who run and own and operate this bullshit? Because Black women, free Black women in particular, are looked upon as chattels still. We're looked upon as the ones to breed your babies and to take your shit. And then folks want to sit up here and wonder why the Black love is on the rocks, because we don't even have the protection of our men. They get a little bit of money and a little bit of power. It's rare that you see Black couples like Will and Jada and Denzel and his wife Paulette, and Samuel Jackson and his wife Latoya, I think is her name, Latanya. It's rare that you see them making it in Hollywood, because the odds are against Black couples. Why is that? Black couples have been neutralized economically. When you are flooding the zone with these fucking immigrants and deciding to give our reparations away to them over giving us the reparations we are owed in the quadrillions. And I'm gonna try not to cuss because I don't want you to get a censor strike. But when you are choosing to do that, you are telling not only the nation and the world what you think about the very free people who built the wealth all of you Mickey firms. And this is what you're doing when you buy into this bullshit as a freed man and decide it's okay to go after this woman who, I don't give a damn what her marriage has decided to do. She deserves protection as a Black woman first and foremost.
Amen.
You don't see him deciding to come for the white wives and the immigrant wives of the very executives who run all of it. So we become the low-hanging fruit because we've been neutralized economically to the point where Black men are choosing to marry outside of the race because they're buying into this racist ass trope of ethno-genociding our people. You got them pushing forward these gay agendas, forcing them on our children to watch even as early as fucking Disney, as Disney, who now got folks arrested for pedophilia and all type of atrocities against children. You got folks over there being arrested for the very thing that Will Smith is trying to stand up in the spirit of King Richard to protect his family. He's there to protect and give a covering over Jada, but you got free people out here wanting to be respectable because the world is watching. No, it's about time a freed man stood up and knocked another freedman coon in the jaw and tell him, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. It is about time. When you neutralize a people like us economically, you make it hard for the freed man to have the money to even court the freed woman. What you've done in your institutional white systemic racism is to make sure you neutralize and cut the balls off of the Black man by not allowing him hire, all in the name of flooding the zone with immigration in order to say Black people don't want to work. You see, you make us reliant on you. And then you make sure we don't even have enough money being reliant on you to survive. Then you tell us no to reparations. Then you spend $15 billion to help Ukrainian neo-Nazis. And now 100,000 of them are coming into our communities to oppress us. And so what you've done to the freedman race, to the freedman lineage rather, is neutralize us economically. So what? You bring out all this gay agenda. You neutralize the Black man economically to make sure he's further disrespected, to make sure it's okay to come up into our communities. And instead of instead of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act to put an end to qualified immunity, now you're giving $350 billion with the help of both parties to the Glacier Donkey race soldiers to be in our communities to execute us with impunity. Why? Because you yet again neutralizing economically. You make him diabolical in the eyes of the nation and the world to justify executing him when he carries the seed. How in the world can our lineage continue if you neutralize and cut the balls off of the black man when he carries the seed? So what Will Smith stood up for today, I'm for it. I'm here for it. I'm grateful he did it. And everybody who disagrees can kiss my acrobat and my soda cracker. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what y'all think about it. The bottom line is he stood up as the freedman rose up in him to finally, after all the decades of degrading the black woman, he stood up to defend his wife in a way that every black woman in the world, but specifically this country that built the biggest, wealthiest country. Well, I don't know about it anymore. I think China's beating the brakes off of us, rightfully so, because when you sit up here and give away our reparations to everybody, you don't deserve to be the superpower that we made you into. You understand? So I am thankful for this particular freedman to stand up in honor and respect of his freed wife. That's what I'm grateful for today. And I'm glad the nation and the world was able to bear witness to a man with a backbone defend his wife on the very white Oscars. Anyway, I'll take a breath.
Girl, you said a lot. I got my boy, Flagship. Talk to me. I mean, you watching this as well as I have been watching. What's your thoughts?
No, just 1 second. Sorry. I thought it was fantastic what he did. And the thing is like, I mean, I've been in and out because I just found out that y'all went live without telling me, but that's okay. You know, first show in like 3 years, but you know, it's all good. I'm just kidding. Well, how you doing, Angela? I just want to start by saying hello, family. Hello, Angela. I haven't been watching. I've been catching up on your shows, but I've been sending money in there, supporting you.
Thank you.
And so, and Shirley, glad you're doing live. But this thing is, I mean, I thought it was a joke at first, but then I said, let me look for myself. And when I saw him walk up there, and then the way he hit Chris Rock and the reaction, I was like, that was not a joke. And then when he sat down and said, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth, I was like, whoa, this is real. And the thing is like this myth that black men don't defend black women is garbage. And this is and I heard some of the stuff that was said, but we also have to also talk about how we have this institution of black women who sit there and just spend wall-to-wall coverage of dogging out black men like Will Smith, like myself. Like your son, Shirley, and they just keep 24/7, 365, 24/7, 365. And that also needs to be addressed as well, because the thing is like, you know, yeah, we have some black men that date outside their race, but there's no groups of men that wants to just you know, they're just going wall to wall anti-black women 24/7, 365, like big groups and things of that nature. So I was glad to see that, you know, Will Smith is representing his wife, because there's a lot of, I mean, I grew up seeing my father violently protect my mother, violently protect my aunts. I remember I saw deacons at the church violently protect their wives against, you know, things like this and disrespect and stuff like that. So I grew up knowing that, hey, if my spouse, you know, gets disrespected, you don't be doing no damn talking. It's going to be a situation. And that's why women, especially that's why black women need men in their lives. This whole, I don't need no damn man. Okay, you don't need a man until you get your ass whooped at the damn supermarket, getting disrespected at the supermarket. And then you can looking at me, or you're looking at Shirley's sons to defend you. No. Shirley's sons are going to protect their wives. You decided to not be with the man. Don't be looking at other black women's men to come defend your behind when you done spent 60 years kicking black men under the damn bus. I ain't dying for you. I'll die for Shirley. I'll die for my wife, but I'm not going to be defending these black women who sit up in here and run wall-to-wall coverage of negative press on black men. Because the thing is, we do want to protect our women. We want to work hard for them, but we got a system which we can't go all the way to the top, and it is what it is. So it's glad to see Will Smith did that, and Chris Rock was 100% out of line, and there's no apology that's going to be accepted. Because G.I. Jane was done by a white woman. You didn't do a joke about Demi Moore. You did a joke about a black woman.
You know, you live in a time where you see in this country, we are so suppressed by so much going on. And these are our icons. This is our king and queen right now, right? Will Smith, And then you saw that wonderful speech that they did for Samuel L. Jackson and how his wife are contributors to society. And then you have Denzel Washington up there presenting it. And you're seeing these strong Black men image. And then this is the next generation. And this is how they're treated. This is how they treat their wives. It's just unfreaking believable. But, you know, here's the situation where Chris Rock can't even hold his wife. He couldn't keep his wife.
Thank you. He had a good wife.
He had a good wife. I thought he had a good one. She was building a nonprofit foundation about angels. And then he went in talking about the Black woman's hair. And then I'm thinking, you should have learned anything about a Black woman's hair. You know, G.I. Jane was not cute. His wife is not, you know, he should know better. Why did he?
But here's the thing that was so weird was that G.I. Jane was done by Demi Moore, a white woman, and she cut her hair off. He was making it was so. I mean, when he said that joke, it was so many layers of disrespect. And I was looking at Will Smith like, why are you laughing? That was mad disrespectful.
It caught him off guard. It caught him off guard. That's why he laughed at first. Because you know, you just kind of go, oh, okay, he talked to her, and then like Angela said, he looked at his wife and she's like, she was not happy. He was not happy.
And then the thing was, like, on the other side of the note, Angela, I mean, I don't know if you comment on this as well. I'm sorry, I'm trying to eat dinner, and because I've been up trying to do that my report. You know what we was trying to do, Shirley. I've been trying to do that all day.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that on the other side, even if Chris Rock got smacked, I'm sorry. If we fighting, I don't care about no white folks. I don't care about national TV. You slap me for making a bad joke.
Right.
We throwing things. It's on right there.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. So then the question is, where do we go from here? I think the world will be questioning. First, the question is going to be, was it really a joke or was he serious? And he says it's a joke. He should have just took it as a joke. But
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And in our community, the Black woman's head is her crown. So if it's with hair or without hair, with a wig or without a wig, these are going to be the conversations in the next couple of days about what about a Black woman and her hair? Can you tell me about her hair? Well, this woman has no hair. But for a Black woman, it's a very sensitive subject matter. So it was really insensitive. It was unkind.
And he knows better. And he knows better.
And he knows better. He didn't, you know, and you should have got that lifted test. You should have said, let me test this out on another Black person. What do you think about this joke? No, brother, I wouldn't do that joke. No, brother, I wouldn't do that joke. And I'm sure it's probably somebody might have said that, but he said, nope, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And
he didn't say nothing about Becky or Maylene.
He said nothing about Becky's hair. And it is interesting, like Angela said, my son's already gone. Kenneth said, he says, and Kenneth and I both have a song. We saw King Richard. And despite what Richard did and all of the other women that, like Angela had said, he had been through, those two particular children were his golden children. Those were his corrections to all his failure. Like, I know how to make a great kid. I'm going to prove to the world I'm going to do better and make another set of great kids. And he did it with those two girls. Those girls had nothing but love to say for their father. That man got spit, kicked on, hit on by his own people in that movie. If you watch that movie in Compton, while he was trying to teach them girls how to play tennis, the Black gangbangers came up and started beating up on the man. He was already old. He was already old. And he said, you know what? You're not going to. Remember, he almost killed that guy. Somebody else killed him. He was going to kill that one guy that was telling him, I'm going to get your daughter. And he said, oh, no, you're not. I'm going to kill you. So, and you saw that in the movie. There is a protection in the line that people don't understand. This is a cultural blow to society. This is a cultural awareness of how sensitive and how pertinent that this is in these times, as Angela mentioned. Is that Black man going to protect that Black woman? And then this kind of spreads. I'm going to kind of dip a little bit into the manosphere world, because in the manosphere world, there are Black men who constantly beat up Black women. And then us as Black women, like Angela said, and then myself, we say, who's going to protect us? Verbally, socially, intellectually? Is that man going to step up and be that man? I have a friend whose daughter who's a lesbian, and we were talking about, she said, oh, you should have a woman. I said, honey, you don't get it. It ain't nothing like a good man. It is nothing like a man that does like Will Smith. Ain't no woman going to do that. Ain't no woman going to be intimidated by another person like that. But a man with fortitude who is well recognized, that is his industry, that is his world, and you will respect him. This is a multi-million-dollar. This is the highest-ranking Black actor in the world. Chris can never touch the income of Will Smith, and combined with Jada Smith, Pickett, they are the queen essential. If we like their life, if we care for their kids, it's irrelevant. They make themselves a well-opened book, oiled machine, open book. But to attack someone personally that you don't know emotionally what he has to sleep with at night, her crying and hurt over her head. Oh, come on now. If anything, he's strengthened his marriage. I bet you she gonna be like, you ain't fucking with my husband no more, huh? Ain't nobody gonna fuck with my husband. I think that strengthened their marriage. You want my opinion? I mean, wow. What's your thought, Flag?
It was out. Chris Rock knows no better. I don't know if, see, here's my thing. Chris Rock knows, but I don't know if it was the white executives that told him to do that joke and see what's going to happen to test Will Smith or what. But Chris Rock knows better not to talk about a sister girl and her hair. That's what makes this thing so frustrating. Like, dude, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Everybody's trying to get laughs and jokes, but at these times in American history, you got to be careful. And he should know better, but he don't care. You know, he ain't got no woman. He ain't got no woman. So, and maybe he does,
he
but he don't have no wife.
Women. He's probably got plenty of women, but he ain't got a wife. There's a difference.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
And you can say whatever you want to say about their marriage. They're still together. Period.
The bottom line is they set the terms for their marriage. And like I said prior,
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who they agree that each other can sleep with, okay? Because Will Smith has done his share of sleeping around, as was predicated on the Red Table Talk when they was lambasting her about her sleeping with August Alsina. Nobody would have been the wiser. Well, you kind of suspected because they were kind of public with their stuff. Will Smith, his stuff has been on the low, but he's been getting it in. And that's why Jada said, you know, when he said, I'm going to get you back, she said, you already have many of times. And so the bottom line is, just because they have an agreement to an open marriage doesn't make it okay not to give the Black woman covering and protection. That is not our monkey, not our circus. She deserves, as every Black woman deserves, to be protected. But like I said, institutional systemic racism has seen to it with the war on drugs and the war on poverty that our Black men are neutralized economically and don't really have much respect because they're supposed to be the head and not the tail. They've made the tail of far too many of our Black men. Our national median income, someone was just reporting, is around $38,000. And so, you know, when you neutralize the Black man economically, you make him the tail and not the head in the way you've legislated us down to the bottom. You see, everything is through the lens of the reparationist perspective for me. I see everything through that lens. Even this, even the fact that Chris can sit up here and make fodder and treat Jada in this way. Someone just mentioned in my race book, he might not have known that she suffered from alopecia. But listen,
come on.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Whether you knew it or not. The bottom line is you feel comfortable taking a shit on Black women because the nation and the world has made it comfortable for you. You never expected the response you got from Will Smith. And the bottom line is you don't have to know that she's going through something to now start to pick on her head and compare it to the very white Demi Moore and G.I. Jane in referencing G.I. Jane #2. I don't give a damn. Just don't go there. As a matter of fact, go there with white women and migrant women who are the wives of the executives who run this shit. Why don't we see you doing that?
Because he would never, ever go after Demi Moore.
You will no longer be able to make your bazillion of dollars if you go for the other women in the way that you constantly. And like I said, this is the cherry on. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, not the cherry on top. This is the straw because we have been taking this nonsense forever. And like you mentioned, Shirley, the new manosphere and all them clowns make it possible for folks all over the world. You see how everybody's now saying Igorne. I don't know if you'll get a strike if I say the real word. Just
Right.
read between the pig Latin. Now everybody feel comfortable saying igorne. Well, that's the same thing when it comes to dragging Black women constantly. It's become comfortable. It's become something you could just do and say, oh my God, you're overreacting. It was just a joke. Like, this is what, in the same way, all these other groups now say igorne, and Joe Rogan and all these various people from all these other races and cultures feel totally comfortable calling us igorne. Why? Because they see us do it one unto another. And now we got the unmitigated gall to get mad and get our asses on our backs because other groups are now calling us igorne. Well, it's the same thing you do to Black women. Constantly dragging us, constantly making us feel as if we are not the icon of beauty when all these Kim Kardashians and all the like are running out here to get butt lifts and lip injections and braids and all this nonsense where they sit up here, what do you call it? Where they copycat, they grifting, I don't know what the hell you call it off the top of my head. But the
Cultural appropriation.
Huh?
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, culture appropriation. This is what they are doing. They're appropriating everything we are. They want our skin, our lips, our attributes, and all the while taking a shit on our skin, our lips, and our attributes, our assets.
That's true.
You want to be us and then take a shit on the original. That's what you get to do. And guess what? Our men participate in it. Not all. There are exceptions like Will Smith. The tragedy is they don't get, 60,000 views. Okay? They don't get the 60,000 views that the manosphere who are actually doing this to Black women. And you're making it difficult for even our young Black men to really embrace and love and appreciate the beauty and the essence and the royalty that is Black women. And yes, we've got some exceptions of thoughts that kind of follow the Cardi B's and the Meg Thee Stallion kind of BS. But you got to talk about a music industry that made it okay for them to act out in this way. You got to talk about the Little Kims, okay? And all these people that came up on that shmoney who have been the examples for our young girls to think that thought culture is, the way to go. Thought culture is going to get attention. Thought culture is going to get the love and appreciation and respect of your man because you see the boys, because these are not men that gravitate to women who lack education, who lack the ability to care for their home, who lack the ability to cook, who lack ability to love on their children and make sure they raise whole human beings, okay? Okay, that's not what's being celebrated. That's not getting 60,000 views.
The Black
family.
family.
The manosphere who sits up here and participates in denigrating Black women. That's what
I don't know about all that now. I'm not going to go all that.
Well,
I got to disagree. Because we have to also understand that things don't just happen out of nowhere. The manosphere just started coming out in like the last 4, maybe 5 years. And there's like Kevin Samuels, there's Donovan Sharp. But you got to also understand that this didn't come out of nowhere. Remember, the picture that started off this whole gender war in our society was a picture of the white supremacist feminists called Gloria Steinem and Dorothy Pittman standing together in unison. Now, Black women, they weren't standing with their men no more. In the 60s, they said, we're going to be white women. We're going to be feminists now. We ain't messing with these niggas no more. We're going to be feminists. And then for 70 years, you got to admit this. Come on now. Y'all been around 70 years of us as Black men being attacked. We're dusty. We're this. We're that. We don't do this. We don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like attack. Then our homes went from almost 90% dual family to then single moms. Then Black women started working with the white supremacist feminists, passing the no man in the house policies, where Black men couldn't even be in the house because it's only enforced in our community. And then we saw a change. We saw this change. We saw all all the media and everything. When black men started to rap music, started rapping hip hop, remember, black women were in all the videos. It was something very clear in 1996 when the Telecommunications Act, when all these media companies who were white owned were able to buy up all the media. That's when black women became bees and hoes. And so people like, like Boogie Down Productions and Onyx and oh goodness, like Heavy D, like all that music, all that good music, like Escape, all that good music was all pre 1996. 1996, it was all about Luke Skywalker, it's all about money. Remember, Public Enemy was talking about the police. Remember, rap music was like the police and government oppression. Then when it was taken over, boom, it went to something else. So it's like, I mean, I understand what that, the manosphere is like coming out of here saying like, wait a minute, we're sitting here, we grew up in these single mom houses. It's not all us. I saw it all started off by saying, hey, I remember my mom kicking my dad out, being disrespectful to him, and she was messing around with 3 dudes. So now it's like, it's this whole image of the perfect black woman as the perfect black woman that was dogging out black men. That's all been black men's fault, black men's fault, black men's fault. Now black men are like, wait a minute, it's not all our fault. Now, mind you, I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. There's some dusty ass niggas that are out there. But the thing is like, when black men tell black women, look, you ain't no be messing with that dude. It's like, oh, I'm gonna change him. I'm like, all right, cool. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, we've been beat up for 70 years and now we're starting to get our voice out. We don't want to fight black women. I mean, I don't. I mean, there was this group on YouTube. Remember Shirley? All they was doing was going crazy. I was like, ooh, god damn, that's some craziness right there. But the thing is, there has to be a recognition, Angela and Shirley, that this whole thing, it's not all our fault. This whole divestment movement. I was just listening to this YouTube group of black women in a whole space say that they get off watching white police officers beat us. It's called the Swirler Divestors. There's a whole group of black women who literally hate black men, who fetishize white men, the group of men that caused the whole thing. They get a pass, but then black men, they just want to kill us. They just want us all dead. They call us bullet bags. All this stuff is happening in black female society. The Cynthia G's, the Tanya TKOs, Cynthia G, Tanya TKO, the Paris Milan. These are all groups of women who have huge followings, way bigger following than the manosphere, by the way, way more money and way more funded than the manosphere. And they just dog out black men all the damn time. So the thing is that at the same point in time, we want to defend our women, but these women have to, the black women like yourself and like other black women, you guys got to go G-check these women. Because if we're because the thing is, these Democrats, these white liberals who are racist to their core, are passing policies based upon the logic and thought processes of these divestors. And they cue them up every election year to get us into the polls. And they say, oh, black men are dusty. Oh, black men, homophobia, black men, it's all black men, like the Jussie Smollett thing. Even the gay guys are even talking about it. Oh, it's the homophobia black men. It's black. And all we hear is black men are responsible. The whole situation with that, what's it called? Andrew Gillum, when he was on Tamara Hall's show. It was homophobic black men. It was this man. Look, let's talk about that because I'm still pissed. This man is a whole gay person. He left his black family and left to go have sex with a prostitute and some other dude. He left the black family to go mess with 2 white dudes. Somehow, heterosexual black men are the ones responsible. This is what we deal with as black men. This is what we hear every day. So if we're going to sit here and talk about, black women need to be protected, true, I agree with you 100%. But you know what? We need to be protected by the feminine species because I can't go hood gangster on a black female. You can. Shirley can. I'm not fighting no black woman under no circumstances. I'm sorry. I will grab her. I'll run. I ain't fighting no black woman. But the thing is, when you see these black women like Cynthia G and Tanya TKO and Paris Milan, I'm expecting black women to go G-check that ass as black women would expect us to G-check these other black men who disrespect black women or even the white men who disrespect you. I'm just saying it got to be both ways, though, because we're sitting out here getting hammered.
Somebody said in the comment section, how is feminists and LGBT a threat to the progressive of the black family? They're a huge threat. And I don't know if it's a threat.
Oh, Lord Jesus. He needs Jesus. Whoever said that.
It's a huge, they purposely target us. This is what's so interesting about the community. They lean on us to give themselves leverage and position. Taylor, that's one of the questions in the chat room. That's why it's so bad right now for black people, because we don't have a sense of normalcy. See, we've got two perspectives. I understand where Angela's coming from, and I understand where Flagship is coming from. And the liberal white women are the clashing clouds of all of this. When he said Gloria Steinem, he was right on point. Because what you guys don't realize is Gloria Steinem and that other one, the Margaret, whatever her name was, who helped Planned
Margaret
Parenthood.
Sanger.
Margaret Sanger, who went out there and helped Planned Parenthood to destroy the black family. Will and Jada
Shirley.
represent a black family. Now, we may not like Angela. Hold on, let me finish my thought. We may not like the dynamics, like Angela said. Who are we to say how they sleep and how they choose their marriage? They still decide to stay married. They still decide to let you see their children and see their lives as a black family. And for another black man to attack a black woman on the most credible, wealthiest, well-known black man in this time, that was really, really bad. Go ahead.
Wait, I have to comment on the chat. Yeah, you're right, Tommy Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels. But here's the thing. That's just, like I said, you just made my point even stronger. That's just right now. Remember, we've had 70 years that black man ain't shit. Black man ain't shit. Fuck that nigga. Fuck them niggas. Whether you are a dusty dude that you shouldn't be having sex with anyway, or whether you a lawyer, doctor, whatever, no matter what the scenario is, all black men ain't shit. That has been 70 years. So Tommy Sotomayor, I don't agree with him, but that's recent. Kevin Samuels is recent. You still need to understand the point. We have been under a barrage of hatred from our own women teaming up with the white supremacist feminists. You do understand feminism is against the black man. And that Dorothy Pittman, Gloria Steinem picture was the start of it.
Don't get it twisted. These feminist women who are out there telling the black woman she don't need a man. She don't need nobody. She just needs to stay and liquor all night. I'm like, what do you mean I don't need a man? You don't need a man. I told you, we did that video where I was on another show and I showed you how Maude was convincing Flo from Good Times, I'm going to help you. She said, I got a family. I got a man. I don't need your help. Oh, no, but we're white feminists. Your people need help. Coming from like you poor black woman, you don't know how bad it is. That black man left you. There's certain vices we've discussed before with Lyndon B. Johnson when he put in Section 8 in welfare, and that if you get welfare, the black man can't come back home because that's two incomes coming in, and the government was not going to allow that. There's a lot of devices that government has played part of the black family. Fast forward, now we see the media. I mean, they've got their foot full throttle on Black American descendant of slaves, and we are seeing it to the fullest at this point. Angela, what's your thought?
No. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. There's a comment that was in here, and it goes to my point as well. Someone just said there's nothing wrong with Cynthia G and Paris Milan. They're telling the truth. Well, then people can also say the same thing about the manosphere as well. They're telling the truth. My whole thing is this. We got to get rid of this whole bullshit, because the bottom line is the reason why I love black women, because I grew up with phenomenal mothers and aunts and deaconesses at the church and a group of black women who are best friends with my mom. And so the thing is, so I have a different experience than most black women, because my parents are still together, and my mom, and I saw what a couple should do. And I saw my parents go through a tough time and then fix it, go through another tough time and then fix it, still to be together. And I think that so my perspective on things is I understand exactly what a black family looks like, and I know what protection of a black woman is, especially when I saw my dad almost go to jail fighting off two dudes who was like trying to touch my mom. And so when you see that and you learn from that, then that's how you, as a black man, you're like, oh, that's okay, this is how you're supposed to get it done. But then when you take the black men out the house with the no man of the house policy, then guess what? You have young boys not understanding what it takes and what it looks like to defend a black woman.
That's so true. That's true. So what's the solution to all this? I don't think this is an overnight solution.
What you just said, Shirley, if I
Go
can,
ahead.
On what you two just said.
And to speak a little louder. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Is that better?
Oh, that's way better. Go ahead, my sister.
Okay, yeah. I was just saying that I wanted to comment. You asked me what were my thoughts. I just feel like I get your perspective, Flagship. I really do, in that respect, that yes, when you boil it down, it all goes back to whiteness. And even if Willie Lynch letter wasn't a real thing, you definitely see, how our being sold into slavery and then being treated as chattel and 3/5 of a man still to this day has had a horrific impact on who we are as a lineage. The fact of the matter is that our lineage is declining in numbers as immigration is growing in number. And so all of what you just shared is absolutely correct, flagship, in that we were the white woman's property too. At the base of all of the debauchery that is inherent in our lineage, whiteness is at the foundation of it. Okay. So let's keep that a buck. But what I do expect of us, whether you are a black woman or a black man in ScrewTube, I expect for us to not be so willing to sell out one another, in the name of getting the bag. Because you see, when they see that they get these kind of views, ScrewTube and their patrons will pay them alike to destroy us and to, talk ill against us and to keep the gender war going. And so what I see are a lot of people grifting off of reparations. I see a lot of people grifting off of the gender war. They have, I happen to like Paris Milan. Cynthia G, I lost a lot of respect for her when she allegedly got with the Dusty and had a whole baby outside of that union. I had to stop watching.
Yes, that's what you could have been with him. Come on now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can't sit up here and drag black men in the way that you are famous for doing. And although in some instances she had some very valid points, as I'm sure folks who follow Sotomayor and Samuels feel that they've got points, but I am not for you being a whole hypocrite. I don't know. And like I said, it's alleged because I don't really know, but I started to hear stuff like that and I had to check out from Cynthia G. I do like what Paris Milan puts out because she exposes the atrocities against black women, those that have been murdered and missing and all manner of thing at the hands of our own men. So I say all that to say, I don't like the grift that our people tether themselves to in the name of getting the bag at the expense of our people. Whether you're doing it in the music industry, in the film industry, or on ScrewTube, I have a big problem with you choosing the bag over the protections and the growth and the not only thriving but the flourishing of our own lineage. I have to check out and tune out when you come for us in this way because you're clearly grifting for the bag. And for me, yes, a lot of the origins of how we got here date all the way back to when we came to these shores. But we are at a place of education, and you would think spiritual maturity to not buy into this bullshit and continue in it for the bag. And so it's not just the manosphere I'm talking about. It's the Jay-Z's, the P. Diddy's, all the ways in which these men get their bag off of denigrating black women, in particular freed women. Okay, so this is the problem I have with all of it. Yes, its origins are very deep and very long ago, but we perpetuate it. We perpetuate it, and then we allow this nonsense into our homes. And yes, the gay agenda, to Talia's point, is trying to work against us. Everything is working against us. Abortion has killed, over 20 million black babies back to God. But nobody wants to talk about these freaking right to lifers who don't make sure that, we have reparations so that our people aren't impoverished and can make a different choice, you see, because it's very, very difficult to sit up here and require that we pull ourselves up by our bootless straps when every time in the history of being in this godforsaken country, every time we've done so, the white man has come through and killed and stolen it. And now he
Exactly.
decides who he gives it away to, even if that means flooding the zone with neo-Nazi Ukrainians. I'm sure some of them might be decent people, but by and large, that is what Biden has chosen to spend $15 billion on, over the excuses they constantly give our lineage when it comes to social justice and economic advantage. And he spent a grip repairing other groups and giving them our protections while telling us he's got nothing for us. And oh, by the way, let me sink $30 million into crack pipes, since I've now opened the borders to the Mexican cartels to drug your cocaine and your heroin with fentanyl to now kill you. Let me give you the crack pipes to help you, since I can't put you into the slavery of the private prison industrial complex, because as a drug head, you are not productive to me. So let me euthanize you with these crack pipes. I can give you 30 million for that, but I can't put 30 million down on reparations that I owe you. Okay? I can put Maya Angelou on the back of a slaveholder quarter, but I can't give you a quarter. You see, so this is a problem I have with all of it. Yes, whiteness is the problem fundamentally, but we don't have to sell out and jump on that train for the bag in the way that we constantly do. It is just horrific to me, and that's why I'm dragging their asses, because
Okay,
yes,
so
Black women are guilty to some degree.
So then this is my question to both of you. The voice of the Black man is now being striked again and heard in a different way through Will Smith, through King Richard. Because we're going to say King Richard because this is also part of King Richard and how he was. And for those who didn't see the movie, you got to go see the movie. But if you look on the screen right now, you have the white man, you have and two gay men, and it seems like the Black gay man's voice has shadowed and overshadowed the alpha Black male. Now, how will the alpha Black male who are like Will Smith respond? And will white media or media lean towards that, or lean right back to these kind of things?
There's only one white man on this screen right now.
Right. But you don't see Jesse Smollett and Don
Jesse Smollett is not Black. He is half white. He's over there with them. We ain't claiming his ass. I don't know why everyone is like sitting here thinking that he's with us. He's not with us. And that's what we always do. We always are dealing with these little.
No. He walked out of court and he said, "I'm Black. I'm LGBT." He said he was. Nobody.
Yeah, because he wants us to come out there and cape for him. Let's talk about this situation with Jesse Smollett, because his little duck walking, death dropping brother was out there dogging out Black men. Somehow it was our fault again. This is another example how no matter what we do, it's always our fault. He got on the damn TV and said the reason why this case went to trial is because the Black community, the Black male community, didn't come out and defend him. Now, mind you, the first group of people that was saying the whole thing was a hoax was the Chicago gay community, the Chicago Black gays. I forget who it was. It's the gay activist in Chicago. He was the first one who said there's something wrong with this story. Then I think China Fox, who's in Chicago, said something, because I listened to her. And there's like all these people that we all know and love is out of Chicago, like the for real people that no matter who you are, whether you're a Black feminist or whatever, everyone, these people are people who everyone loves, saying, nah, there's something wrong with this. And so he went out there and lied, hired these people. They had all this evidence, and the Chicago PD came up to him and his lawyer and said, look, we are not going to prosecute you if you just stop doing interviews. This is what we have on you. They laid out the whole entire case that convicted him. They had everything. They had the statements. They had the recordings. They had the check. They had the video of the guys going to the Home Depot, getting the stuff that was all out there. They said, look, just stop doing interviews and we'll drop this thing and let it go. No, he went on the Robert Roberts interview and started talking about the Chicago PD, thinking that we were going to come out there. But at this point in time, literally not just the advocates of Chicago was talking how this was BS, but everyone in Chicago was talking about how this was BS. And then now it went across the country. And then Tariq was talking about Jason Black. They said, nah, this is bullcrap. This is bullcrap. So all he had to do was just be quiet, and he didn't be quiet. But then he gets convicted, and all of a sudden he's Black. Now, mind you, Lambda Legal could have come out and defended him. That's a white gay legalese group. the what's called the Gay and Lesbian Center, all these different gay groups, white gays with all this damn money, they could have easily shut this thing down with text messages and phone calls. So that's how powerful they are. They didn't. They let this trash ride. But see, when the smoke came, when the smoke cleared, they didn't get the fire and brimstone from, I guess, from him and his family. They want to go after heterosexual black men. I'm like, this is some bullshit. I'm not defending some fake bull crap.
You know, I understand where you're coming from, but I want to go back to my question. I said to you, will the voice, because I'm sorry, I'm on another screen. Let's go back to that picture again. This is my question. I don't care if you say the Negro's half white or half black, whatever. Even with now Don Lemon is an ADOS. He's an African American descendant of slaves. If you go back to those men, these liberal, gay, LGBT men are the voices of the worlds right now. Okay, we already know about that story about Jesse, but I'm talking about, will the alpha voice be able to shine? Will people understand that there is a different black voice? There is a voice that has that LGBT thing going on, but
No.
this voice that Will Smith personified tonight is going to have a sting across the country. People need to realize they are black men who do support their women, who do understand the importance of black family, who do understand that their wives, as they get older, this woman's getting older. These people are moving in, they're in their 50s, right? They're in their 50s. So we've got to respect the fact that we have a situation where a woman, she's progressively changing physically, emotionally, even, and they're growing up the way they grow up. But if you have a situation, like I said before, where you have a Jesse Smart, that's the only reason I brought him up. It's the only reason I brought that up, because I want you to understand the media has really promoted that voice, and this voice of this man and these actions, you don't hear much of.
Well, it depends on what happens tomorrow, because if the media, it depends, because I don't think that voice is gonna get through at all, because the fact that I'm pretty sure they're going to probably say that this was inappropriate. They're going to ask questions. Did he have a right to defend himself? Is this the toxic masculinity that we're talking about? Those, it depends on what the message is going to be. That's my point. I think that it depends on the message is going to be, because I think they're going to come out with a whole entire, and I might be wrong. They might come out with saying, "Oh, this is the toxic masculinity that we're talking about. I understand he offended his wife, but he could have dealt with this afterwards in a nice, calm, cool, collective way and had a conversation." That's what I think they're going to try to say.
How would this be spent? And then how would it really be spoken in the black community? That's what the question is going to be tomorrow. Because tonight we were able to see a black man defend the black woman, and a lot of white people may not like that. Right? You have to hit him.
Well, Tariq thought it was cool. Tariq thought it was a good thing.
So everyone, now people approach her, they're going to say, "I'm so sorry about what happened." They're going to be probably profusely apologizing. But the truth of the matter, he had every right to slap that Negro. The fact that he did it on national television with them kung fu moves, that was huge. Angela, we're going to close it out. I'll let you close and then let Flagship and then now end the show. Angela, what would you like to say to the family? I think Flagship said something that's pertinent tonight, which is, let's see how the bounce back for tomorrow is, what the pulse of America tomorrow is, because this, of course, is another political message. If people don't want to look at it as, but for us in the black community, a black woman is her crown, is her head, is her crown. And this woman is not the woman that you knew 20, 30 years ago. This is an older woman. This is a seasoned woman. This is a woman asking for respect and love, okay? That's all she's asking for, is respect and love. However we may feel she has a mouth about her husband and how they say to each other, that's their marriage. But I think what the world's going to realize, that there are black men who admire their woman and will protect their woman and will tell them, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. I got a wife." Chris Rock, what happened to yours? Angela,
exactly.
Let's go ahead and say something, Angela.
Well, I agree with you, Shirley.
I can't hear you.
Oh, so sorry. Is that better?
A little better. Try again.
Oh, Lord, where's the mic? Okay. Speak, Shirley.
Go ahead.
Can you speak? I'm trying to find my mic.
Oh, that's perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. I agree. I believe that sadly and tragically, black men in defense of their wives, in the defense of the black woman, is never going to be televised to the degree that denigrating black women will ever be. Because that's what this country thrives on. They thrive on our lineage being ethnogenocided to as few in number as the Indians. Perhaps it will be then that they will throw us Maya Angelou on the back of a slaveholder quarter as reparations. I saw it happen here in California. We've gone from 17% to about 3%, and now we're in the fight of our lives to put a gate up around reparations. We don't even know to what degree we will be repaired here in California. It's just diabolical what we have to go through. So I see this kind of same thing happening nationally, where I believe that there's just this bigger ethnogenocidal plan that has been happening since we fought and were emancipated. And denigrating Black women and buck breaking Black men has always been a part of that plan. When you think about it, they absolutely took our 40 acres and a mule and then gave 100 years to white immigrants and white slaveholders of the Homestead Act. And, the saga continues. So I don't give a damn what white America or immigrant America or the illegals think about what Will Smith did in honor of his wife. I commend him. I salute him. And I am definitely pro what he did. I don't give a damn about the respectability politics. I give a damn about the respectability of the freed family. The freed family who built all the wealth these Mickey Fickies eat from. That's my square. This is Angela Nirvana, the reparationist perspective, signing off. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, I appreciate that, Angela.
Wait, Angela, wait, don't leave yet. Don't leave. Are you leaving? Did she leave?
I'm here.
No, I just want to say I thank you so much. I love your show. I'm going to continue to be sending support. Who's that person who's that congressperson that you were supporting on your show? He was about that life. Oh Lord, I was like holy dancing when I was driving, listening to him. It was just like I just wish I was a millionaire. I'm like, goodness gracious. I just wish that I had the money to be like, can we do a broadcast? We get this guy out there, because he not only had the ideology that's needed, but he already wrote I went on his website. He already wrote up all the half and damn policies already. So he's ready. Not just talking. He put the pedal to the metal. So those are the kind of politicians that we need. But unfortunately, goodness gracious, unfortunately, I don't know if that's gonna work or not. But hey, that New York guy won.
Well, let me help you understand something, family. The only commodity we've got left is our vote, and that's fast waning as these Democrats seek to give illegals the right to vote. You can trust and believe they're going to, in the same way New York gave those illegals 30 days in the country to vote, which there's now a lawsuit from the Blacks against that, because you neutralize our vote when you give illegals who just got here the same privileges that our ancestors fought and were lynched over. The right to vote within 30 days of illegally entering the country. They are illegal immigrants. That means you've broken the goddamn law. But anywho, I digress. So I've implemented a Freedmen voter strategy, and the only two Democrats I am recommending that we vote for during the midterm is our future Congressman, Greg Marcel Dixon out of South Carolina, District 6. That's who you saw on my broadcast. You guys can check it out at the Reparationist Perspective. It was fire. He is a reparationist that was a comrade, as he still is, prior to throwing his hat in the race, because he lives in the sixth poorest district in these here United States, where Coon Jim Clyburn is the majority whip over in the Democratic Party. That's the sixth poorest district out of 437 districts in the USA. So he is running to unseat Coon Clyburn out of District 6, South Carolina, and Tamara Johnson Shirley is working to unseat Coon Warnock in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, in Georgia, for the state of Georgia. These are two full chested reparationists, and the only way we get reparations is to put reparationist candidates in office. And those are the only two out of all the Democrats, especially the black, white, oppressive ones, that is running this midterm. So please get out the vote for those two. And then your other vote should be towards closed border candidates only. Now,
Yes.
I don't know if Shirley
Yes.
knows this, but I am done with the Democrats. And for all you free people watching and want to sit and stay at home or waste your vote on a third party that will never make 5%, just know whenever you press it, and for those of you who continue to vote blue no matter damn who, just know that you're making a way for these immigrants who are now receiving all of our reparations and protections to keep the Democrats in power. So when you show up and continue to vote blue no matter damn who, you are doing so to our own people's peril. And you should feel very ashamed of yourselves for continuing to vote for people who will tell you, who politic on a George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, and then at the State of the Union tell you, I am $350 billion strong of your reparations to support the Glacier Donkey race soldiers in your communities, executing unarmed black men, women, and children with impunity. So that's what you're doing, and you ought to feel a hot damn shame of yourselves for continuing to push that blue lever and not invoking my Freedmen voter strategy with closed border candidates only, because immigration is and has always been our most imminent threat. And
Now, you, Angela, that right there is the next show I want to be on, because that's what I'm on. This whole gender bull crap, I'm not, that's not my thing. This is what I want to get into. Like all this right here. That's the stuff right there. Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of stuff I want to talk about. And the thing is, I know you don't do new shows, Shirley, but can we do the three of us have a conversation about the Ukraine? Because I got all this I have all this stuff about, because my thing is, my specialty is I love world politics and history. That's my thing. But this whole gender thing, that ain't my thing. The world politics, history, how things became now, how we were set up, how did this happen, how did the Ukraine happen, what's going on in Russia, what the history there. That's the stuff that I read about and I want to talk about. But I can't say nothing because there's no platform, there's no shows, there's no nothing. So we shut down right now. So
that's not true. I've been dealing with the Ukrainian neo-Nazis on my broadcast too. You can go over there and see some of my broadcasts, my past.
Oh yeah, I did see those, of course.
So if you would love to come on and be my guest, Gmail me at therepperspect@gmail.com, and I'd love to have you come on and talk about this the American with 3 Ks and funding the neo-Nazis of the Ukrainian government to fight a war that they're too coward to have against Russia in the name
they don't want that smoke.
Prevent a damn third world war. Oh yes, we're financing that war between Ukraine and Russia. We absolutely are, and with reparations dollars, no less. So,
well, you know, I definitely think we'll definitely do a show. I've been talking to T. West about. T. West has a really deep perspective and dark perspective. He's got even videos and pictures of how Ukrainians will get a British person or someone that's not Ukrainian. I guess they pull their pants down and then they beat them in the middle of the street with sticks and stuff. I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of imaging of like these poor people, but then they don't show these mean people at the same time. I'm trying to sign this show off YouTube, but I have to say one thing. Some of you guys, I don't get it. Like Warrior Justice. Somebody explain to me what they're talking about. Who's killing black? You gotta
let that go. You gotta let that go. That's one of those. That's the kind of stuff that those are kind of the women that start off Tommy Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels, and the Manosphere. That's the kind of women that I'm talking about. Those are the ones who got this whole thing against black men. No matter what, we're all dusty. Everybody's mean. You just gotta let that go.
Yeah, Shirley, we could cut this off because we'd be here all night addressing some of these comments.
I know I understand that, but it's like it's interesting to me how disconnected many of you may be listening right now.
I feel passionate about the black family, and in particular, a black man standing up for the black queen.
And I feel very strong about it. The alpha black male rose to the occasion tonight. And that's
Yes,
how I
he
want to end
did.
this show.
And I'm very proud of that. And that's kind of like the note I want to leave on. And I'm grateful to have been able to touch on my Freedmen Voter strategy for your viewers. Thank you so much, Flagship, for raising that about our future Congressman Marcel Dixon. Just know that we still have the power of the vote, but not for very long, because they are flooding the zone with immigration to neutralize our vote now that they've neutralized us economically.
I'm sending you $50 right now.
Thank you. Which is why we don't have millions like you desire, as I desire, to give to candidates like Marcel Dixon. It is, and Tamara Johnson Shealy, it is by design of institutional systemic racism. So I thank you for your kind words. And I thank you for blessing the broadcast so I can continue to edutain the masses and to weaponize our vote and socialize this suffering. Because I want this last thing, Shirley. You guys, Freedmen in particular, I'm not speaking to you white people. I'm not speaking to you immigrants. Free people that are watching this broadcast, if you can ever notice how when 87% of our electorate delivers the Democrats, we are the only one in distress. When Donald Trump was in office, I don't give a damn what you like or lump about his ass. He put that border wall up.
Yep.
To stave off our most imminent threat, which is immigration. They are flooding the zone. These Democrats are flooding the zone with immigrants to neutralize and further denigrate the black man. And I'm here to tell you that is the goal, is to make sure the black man can never come up off the bottom. If the black man can't come off the bottom, he can't marry freed women, and we can't have freed babies. I didn't say free. We were just we were emancipated from slavery, but we are far from free. Anytime you look up and we are on the bottom in every metric, we are not free. So I'm here to tell you it is imperative that you weaponize your vote and socialize your suffering. And one last point to Donald Trump. You sitting up here going to these polls to push a lever for a overt racist in office for 4 years with no record against freed people. And you decide to pull the lever for these two immigrant and white covert racists, Biden and Kabami.
Ooh, preach.
Who have records against free people several city blocks long. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you ought to feel like a hot damn fool for doing so, because that's exactly what you did. And tragically, my message is not, trending far enough with my Freedmen Voter strategy. I fear you're about to turn up to the polls to do the same damn thing, to actually be a co-conspirator in the ethno-genocide of your own freed people. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, because you don't know enough, and you're not seeking to know enough about the politics. When these Democrats go left, you must go right. There is no in between. And this ain't no personality contest. I can't both parties suck. But I'm saying the difference right now is the Republican Party is the gas chamber for freedmen, and the Democrats are the guillotine. That's what you've put us in this position of voting blue no matter damn who, to our own peril. We're literally at the point where we have to choose between the guillotine and the gas chamber. And I choose the gas chamber until I can get more reparationist candidates like Marcel Dixon and Tamara Johnson Shealy on that CBC and cut off the paychecks of all these coons currently in office, doing everything they can to undermine us in the name of people of color and the what is it? Black and brown. Ain't no black
Lord
and brown.
Jesus.
We're the only ones suffering. We're the only ones being disproportionately executed by the race soldiers and disproportionately put in prison for the very peddling of drugs that the Biden administration is now funding $30 million for crack pipes for our people to die off of this fentanyl-laced heroin, because he don't open up the hot damn borders. Y'all need to get
Yep.
politically educated and stop this
Mhm.
nonsense you're on, because this is our never-ending Holocaust thanks to Black folks not being
Mhm.
politically educated and weaponizing their vote and socializing their suffering. I'm
Well,
gonna take a
and
breath. I
also,
love y'all.
the thing is too is like with the gas chamber, we can get a gas mask. Because the thing is, under President Trump, we was getting gas masks all goddamn day and getting things going. And even though things were happening and stuff like that, black people were coming up. Black men were coming up. Black women were coming up. Our families were coming up. The only people who were pissed off when Trump was in office were the elite whites and then all the little boule cats. But like the lower class black people were getting jobs. Remember when Trump was going to all these different factories and getting all the immigrants and getting them out of there? And then guess the next day, it was all black men and women up in there getting them damn jobs, getting their money up. So
Yes.
yeah, you can say what you want to say about him, but that's what I call getting the gas mask. See, the guillotine, when your head's chopped off, you dead.
Period.
Even if you're a vampire, you get your head chopped off, you still dead. So
Absolutely.
I will never, bro. And the thing is, Shirley and I was talking about this before. Is like there is no one in the world more racist than a white liberal. Nobody is more racist than white liberals.
Power flagship. Now you dropping knowledge for real right there. Well,
Angela, I'm telling you, we can go all night. I got so much that I got to talk to you about. I have a whole list here to talk to you about, but I'm gonna stop right there.
Well, please don't forget to Gmail me. Shirley, let's do that show for flagship. Let me know when y'all want to go live on that one. It don't seem like I got to now broadcast this one live on my platform because I couldn't go live at the same time. For some reason on my computer without that echo. So I'm going to drop y'all off and then let my people see this live once you conclude, Shirley.
No problem. Thank you, Angela. Flagship, what do you want to say in closing?
I'm going to leave it with Angela. She spoke for me.
All right, I'm going to close you guys out, and then I'm going to give my final word. Thank you.
Okay.
For a long time. Let me. Father protect his mother. Angela talks about the protection of a man in her life. And I had a wonderful father and uncles and cousins that were very protective of me. I remember living on 39th and Vermont in Los Angeles, and there was Skip's liquor store across the street. And when we were at Skip's liquor store, if somebody was out of line, Skip would say something and speak up for me. The winos, when there were people who didn't know me as a community child, would speak up for me. Black men who were dispositioned and positioned, who were alpha, spoke up for me. What kind of black man do we see personified in television, personified on film today that recognizes those type of men? Very far in between. So when Will Smith did what he did, stood up and said, this is some bullshit. Keep your fucking mouth closed. Keep my wife out of your fucking mouth. He said, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. That was a bad move for another black man who understands that a black woman's head is her crown. This woman's going through alopecia. She is going through a situation. She is losing her hair. She's always had hair. You've seen her with weaves. You've seen it with her natural hair. This girl never had a problem with no hair. Now she's going through an age and probably a biological and physical understanding. I am an older woman now, and I'm losing my hair. That joke was not appropriate. I don't care what no one says. That was just a joke. It was not appropriate because she doesn't feel comfortable. She didn't choose to shave her head to make an empowerment statement. This is not a Wakanda look. This wasn't done to say, I'm a Wakanda woman. No, she is. But there are some women, they shave their head and they can own it because they know they can grow their hair back. This lady is going through things. So for a man, an alpha man, to step up and say, this is my wife, I'm going to stand by her. I want you to realize this woman bared my children, and I'm an alpha male. I'm not one of them he, she men that you see right now. These he, she reporters these he-she actors who just don't want to serve their time, and these white men who have their perspective. No. We're talking about an alpha black male who stood up, protect his wife, and now we're seeing the repercussions of it. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow. My question to you is to ask you, will people think this was a joke? And Will probably do an interview. He's probably said no, like he apologized in his inception speech. And will white and black America identify that there is a different type of black male? And I think if they don't, I want you to share this video. Please like and make comments. Please share, and realize that there are black men who are alpha that need to be respected. Yes, you have your Kevin Samuels and however you say his name, and all these others out there. But there are some beautiful, protective, strong, and quieted black men. And I say quieted because my father was a man of many words. They called him the old professor. He was a man of many words. But I will say this, he would give you a look. He would give you a sound. He would move his body in a way you did not mess with an alpha man like my father. And what Will Smith did today is to show the world that alpha man still exists. You see it in him. I think I see it in Denzel Washington. I see it in Samuel L. Jackson. But for Chris Rock to feel that comfortable to go and say this about his wife, he was well out of line. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and sharing this video. I'm looking forward to reading your comments afterwards. Please share this on group pages on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to take parts of it and do TikToks on it, I think it's a discussion that needs to be had, because I think not only the voice, the energy, but the ideology of black women not knowing that they're so feminized by what the liberal progressive lesbians and LGBT people personify a black man's action is regarding a black woman. They may find this to be odd and unusual when this is the norm. This is what a black man should be doing. He should protect, he should love, he should stand up, and he should not be ashamed for it. So anyway, I love you guys. I will do more videos, and I want to do one on finances as well. So eventually we will get that one done. If you have any more questions, make sure you like, subscribe. Subscribe. Say subscribe. Either way will work. Oh, one more thing I was going to tell you. Please, if you have not had a chance, I just want to say a shout out to Cal Texas Homes. This is the company that's sponsoring me. Even if you're not interested in buying homes, it would be nice that you go to the website and like and share and let people know. If you decide to move out of California or any state, we can do pretty much any state. We want to move people where there's more black people in the state of Texas. As I've mentioned over and over, 25, 30% blacks in certain cities like Houston and Dallas and Red Oak and Lancaster, Texas. You'll be surprised. Areas like Killeen, Texas, for African American, 40% black. It's important and pertinent that you're in communities where you can be seen. So yes, I would love for you to do that. The website is up right now. And yeah, I know everyone's going to be live. So I know that a lot of people come back later, and because everyone is discussing on this, but that's my question. That's my question to you. Will the media get it right in understanding that all black men are not the same? And this one is definitely one that you want to support. Oh, you said DeSoto, Texas. Oh, absolutely. And that's what I want you to understand, that in these states where you are more prevalent and have a position, you have an opportunity to be in a position of power and leverage. They're giving loans, they're giving grants. There are certain things that they're allocated for specific things for African American descendants of slaves, compared to in California, you're being suppressed, you're being wiped out, and you're at 6 to 9%. And this is for my black viewers who are watching. So, these things are very bad and very toxic for our community. And it's important that we realize there's other parts of the country that are open to appreciate and love us. You see, they're going to call Will toxic. Will Smith is not toxic. He responded in a way that, again, the media is not going to protect that woman. That woman is only going to be protected by her man, because these white people don't protect black women. And these LGBT black women and LGBT white women, all they want to do is put a foothold and say, you don't need to stand by this man. They don't want to see this. They do not want to see this. So no, they're not going to support black love or black togetherness that you see right here. All right. You say, hey, I'm from Will Smith's hometown, and I got to go. I appreciate it, Fire. I appreciate you saying facts. That means a lot because that's what we're promoting tonight, facts and numbers. I appreciate you, family. I love you. Let's stay in prayer. Let's stay woke. Remember what I told you before, food, water, and shelter. If you don't have food, water, and shelter and understand that there's things that are leveraging against you, and that's kind of like what we discussed tonight, then you're going to miss the point of where we are in this country. And we'll go into that subject matter later on. Thank you for loving me, watching me. Go over to Kiki Green's channel. I'm Tarika's live, and there's everybody's live. Support Kiki, support Angela. I'll put more of her information in the chat room, and me and Flagship and others will come in later on and discuss other matters that are in better and make our lives wonderful. Love you so much. Please like, share, and let's start talking.
Roasting you tomorrow. Believe that. They're going to be roasting them tomorrow.
Well, let's go into it, you guys.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
Richard Williams.
Here we go. Can y'all see and hear me? Okay. I don't know how y'all was able to hear that if I wasn't added to the stream, but y'all were commenting like you were keeping time. I see all my family up in here. Derek Askew, Satra Delry 360, DJ Segwan, Miss Lady K Love, Ivy Dreams, Shirley Husar was in the building. All right. Let me see anybody else up at this hour. Yeah, I think, well, those are the ones who chose to be my co-host in the chat at this ungodly hour. I'm not used to being on this late, but this topic was hot, and I had to weigh in over on Shirley's platform. And then, okay, I saw somebody else I want to give love to. Unconduit, welcome to the live. Yes, family. I'm just in from Austin, the Texas relays, where my daughter's high school showed up and showed out, breaking records in the whole 9 yards. And I'm just a little wiped out. So I'm not going to stay here long. I did want to just put a button on this broadcast before I go. I've been pretty much highlighting your comments throughout the entire broadcast because I knew I wouldn't have the energy to read them all. But don't believe the hype when you see Black folks and white, Democratic owned and operated corporate with 3Ks, lamestream media coming for the jugular of Will Smith for being an alpha male and protecting his beautiful wife. They never, ever, ever want us to do revolutionary things of this magnitude, especially on the world stage. You see, it was bad enough that the execution of Mr. George Floyd caught traction, and you had white women locking arms to protect the freedmen and blacks that were protesting from the Glacier Donkey race soldiers that many of them raised. I don't know about the women who locked arms, if they raised racist Glacier Donkey pigs like the ones that were on the other side at our protest, just spraying rubber bullets on us in the whole 9 yards. They may have raised that and had to come to Black Jesus moment and decided to, allow the Christ within them to be bigger than their white supremacy. I'm not really sure. Or they could have just been born this way. We did have abolitionists who did come to our aid and gave us protections when we stole away from the plantations to freedom. So not all white people are glacier donkeys. I don't believe that. I believe that there are exceptions in every race, just like not all Black freedmen are on code. As you clearly see in the CBC, we've got a lot of Black white oppressors who are caping for immigration to help in the white supremacist plan to ethnogenocide our people. So there's good and bad in every race, okay? There's good and bad. Let me just say that. But I do want you to stand down in defense of Will Smith, because he will have a lot of enemies coming for his jugular. It would not surprise me if this impacts his roles in Hollywood, especially if enough Blacks get on the coon train and sit up here and admonish him in the way that I see the coons in my race book coming to criticize. They're very critical of what Will Smith did, when what he did is what we've been needing so long ago. Had what Will Smith did to Chris Rock happened hundreds of years ago, we would not be here. Had we had the backbone of our ancestors who knew when to leave the repugnant clans for the Democrat Dixiecrats, because the repugnant clans would not support civil rights, I don't even know that we would have as many numbers of freed Blacks in this country as we do currently. So, Chris Rock and lots of white folks should have been pimp slapped many moons ago. We more than likely would not be here and would have the respect. You see, they love for us to denigrate each other because that means that's their way of throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Just like in the communities when you got Black on Black crimes and murder, the Glacier Donkey white supremacists love that because they don't have to do it. They can just starve us out economically, starve us out in the form of education, and let us turn one onto another, and it gets them off scot-free from having to be tried for executing us with impunity, of which has not stopped since Mr. George Floyd's execution. It's only been silenced in the mainstream, lamestream, corporate with 3Ks news media. Okay? So I don't want anyone that supports the voice of the reparationist perspective getting off code during this time. If anything, you speak up in defense of Will Smith, because that's a part of why other free people don't speak up and out for us as a free people, because we're oftentimes, myself included, left out to dry because our voices are very revolutionary and we're not going to play the respectability politics with your ass. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to tell the TR Ruth and tell it like a TI is. And so we'll be shadow banned. Okay, we'll be on Facebook. Well, they'll, just pull the plug on 4,500 subs. This is what they do to the likes of me in the screw tube. Okay, so please, I need you to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and help voices like mine who speak for the masses of freed people to get as many views as the nonsense puckery out here on this screw tube, like the Tasha K's. That's how many people should be viewing what I'm doing over here. And I'm going to need your help in the way that I've helped others to get their subs up. I need for you guys to be that for the reparationist perspective. Until our voices are as loud as the corporate with 3Ks lamestream media that's financed by the Democratic Party by and large. So please help me do that by doing your part, because you take big chances for speaking up for free people, but that's how I'm wired, and that's what I'll continue to do. Please make sure you support Will. Please make sure you keep the bootlicks and the coons and the glacier donkeys foot up off of that brother's neck for standing up for his wife in the way that he played as King Richard for that Oscar he was awarded. That's why he said in his acceptance speech, which I could not show, you can catch it on ScrewTube. I don't want a copyright strike, so I'm not going to put that over here. But yeah, the character King Richard came alive in him, and he's been forever changed from playing that role in the defense of the freed people. Okay, he has been forever changed at depth, and I'm grateful to see it. I'm grateful to see it. Okay, family, with that being said, I know you guys are still making comments. Let's see, we can hear you. Did you play Will's acceptance speech? No, Satra, darling, I did not, because it's 5 minutes long. It can rarely be heard, and I don't want a copyright strike. So make sure you guys go over to ScrewTube and check that out. And I want to pray us out. I want to thank you so much for rolling with us, sister, because it is so late everywhere. Even here, we're at 1:15 in the morning. I'm going to lay it down after I process my caseload for tomorrow's court. I'll be back Tuesday with you guys. I would love if you could join me for the California Reparations Task Force hearings. They're finally going to put eligibility to a vote, and I'm prayerful to get my public comments in at the top of the forum. So yes, I'll be back here for that on Tuesday, and then again on Wednesday, back to back. Yes, going hard in the paint on eligibility. If you want to make public comments, because we need to flood the zone, they're actually starting public comments at 8:30 instead of 9 to give us an additional 30 minutes. If you want the link, because it's through an entire different app, please Gmail me at therepperspect@gmail.com. I'm going to write that here. It's in all caps, but it don't really matter. At therepperspect@gmail.com. Okay. If you want to make public comments, I can send you the link to be able to do that. Freedmen need to flood that zone in that 90 minutes they're giving us to make public comment, because they tried it recently. The communication firm that manages the anchor orgs really, really tried it with their bullshit. They were trying to get enough Black immigrants to weigh in on our reparations so that they could receive those entitlements. They got the unmitigated gall to not be appreciative that they're just being in this country, having fled their Holocaust for our impending one, our perpetual one, our continuation of one. They don't get that us being severely oppressed by the glacier donkeys give them the freedom and the entitlement to be at least 1,000 times or greater, more wealthy than free Black in the country our ancestors built with their lives. It's not enough for them. They actually want our reparations. And so we managed to find out about a secret meeting they were hosting, and we threw a wrench in their whole agenda. So I know they're trying to get the word out to Black immigrants to come up into our California Reparations Task Force meeting to actually weigh in on them getting our reparations when they got here, by and large, after the 65 Immigration Act. So if you want to speak up and out to put a gate around the eligibility for our reparations, knowing that as California goes, so goes the nation, please Gmail me, and I put the link in the chat as to how you can reach me so I can send you that link. That's on Tuesday. I may come to you tomorrow live. We'll see. I don't really know. I'm so tired, but I may come to you live again tomorrow. I just don't know on what just yet. With that being said, family, let me pray us out that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Freedmen and its allies are, God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Let me make sure you can see. Okay, very good, family. And if nobody's told you today, family, know this, that I love you Black. And I love you so strong, family. Yes, I do. And until we meet again, family, I'm sending you a ton of peace, love, and reparations. Yes, I am, family. We can't afford to give in. We can't afford to give up. We can't afford to give out. Our lineage needs us. Our lineage needs us to show up and show out. Every day God gives us breath. The ancestors need us to rise up and be courageous in everything we do for the protection and the flourishing of the Freedman lineage. I'm out.